Welcome back, you guys. Today I'm showing you guys how you can use Zener cards so that you can practice your psychic ability. So the Zener cards. The Zener cards were made by Carl Zener. I think he was a psychologist, and he basically wanted to test if people could read each other's minds, telepathy. And so he basically built a set of cards, and the point was he would hold them up and kind of hide them and have his partner try to guess what was on the other side of the card. And basically he did this test a lot. And I think it proved to not work. It was a bad test of ESP, or the psychic ability, and I'll kind of go into that and why that might have been the case. But these cards are still a great tool for you to use to practice your psychic ability. And if you saw my playing card video, this is basically the exact same exercise. The only difference is that these cards are specifically made for ESP or psychic ability practice, whereas playing cards are just something that you can use if you don't want to go out of your way to buy these Zener cards. Full disclaimer, I do not have the correct Zener cards. So this was actually like a magic card pack, and so I bought it thinking it was the right one, but it was just like a crappy magic card deck. And it was even worse because it came with instructions on how to cheat and basically how to trick people into thinking that you're psychic. And I was like, this is exactly the wrong person I should be supporting. But there are correct packs out there, and I will put those in the description down below. So the only thing that's wrong about mine is it doesn't have the colors. So there are 5 symbols, and there's a circle, a triangle, a plus sign, some like wavy water lines, and then a square. And so those are kind of the 5 basic symbols. Now these are technically supposed to have colors as well, so I think it's like red, yellow, green, blue, one other color I'm forgetting. And the theory here is that you can not only try to guess the symbols on the cards, but also the colors. So again, if you're going to do this, get the right deck. I do not have the right deck. That was my bad, but it was also me being lazy and not wanting to return it to Amazon. So you can hone your psychic ability using these cards in one of 2 ways. And one of them is just a simple guessing game, and the other is like a matching Go Fish style card game. So what you want to do is you want to have the cards not facing up. You want to not be able to see what's on the other side. Now you could go from the top, you could just pick a random card, and what you want to do is guess what symbol or color is on this card. Now I would say start by just trying to do one. Start by just trying to do the symbol and then try to do the color. Again, mine don't have the colors. So I'm going to tune into this card, you know, setting all my boundaries, doing all of that stuff, and then I'm going to ask my guides, what symbol is on this? And I'm just feeling like the star, so I'm going to flip it over. Wrong. That's okay. And then what you can do is shuffle it back in and just keep trying. Play this guessing game over and over again. So going from the top again, I'm going to try to sense the symbol. Maybe I'm feeling square. Bam. That's right. So, and the key here is you want to shuffle the cards back in so that you're not second guessing and trying to be like, I've pulled all the stars, so there can't be any more stars left. You don't want to get into that analytical mode of thinking, and that's one of the reasons why the Zener cards were disputed, was that, you know, like counting cards, you could probably try to remember how many cards were left. And so then start to guess the color. So pretend, you know, I have the right deck. And let's see, I sense blue, and I can turn it over and see if I was right or wrong. So I would start with symbols first and do a couple rounds with the symbols. You can even go through the whole entire deck trying to guess the symbols, and then go to color. Try to guess the entire deck's colors. And then once you're feeling really practiced, you can try to go ahead and do both. So that's the guessing game that you guys can do. Pretty simple. Just remember, try to go through the whole deck, really get into the zone. Don't spend a whole lot of time trying to guess, because the more you get into that analytical mind, the more you are not letting it come to you. You're not getting into that flow. You're judging, you're analyzing, you're beating yourself up about it. And even though I say, you know, turn over the cards and see if you're right, try not to do that sometimes. I know it's hard to want to know if you're right or you're wrong, but you guys, this is about practice. And with the psychic ability, the more you practice, the stronger it gets, and the more often you are judging yourself or beating yourself up because you're not getting it right, the more you're saying, oh, my psychic ability is not working, my psychic ability sucks, And you're sort of sending it out that you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in your psychic ability, you're saying it's not going to work, and so it's going to basically self-actualize, and you're going to find it harder and harder to read, which is why I'm always saying try not to look at the results, just try to go with your gut and just practice and not look at the results. So the next game you can play is sort of like a matching Go Fish style game, and what you want to do is just kind of lay all the cards out, sprawl them out, and then you want to flip over one card. Bam, I got the plus sign. Now you could do this with the colors or the symbols. And what you want to do is you want to find the match. You want to find the other plus. Or if you're just doing colors, find the other black card. And so pretend I'm feeling this card. Flip it over. Oh, got it wrong. That's okay. Flip them back over, shuffle them up again so that you can't remember where they are. And try again. Flipping this one over. Okay, I'm trying to find another wavy line deck. Now if you've watched my other video, you can do one of two things. You can use your clairs, which I'll go over in a second, or you can try to actually feel the cards. This is really great if you're very clairsentient, if you're very empathic, if you feel. So you can hover your hand over the cards. So let's say I'm guessing it's that one. Nope, it's wrong again. So just keep trying. Remember to shuffle the cards back in so you're not in a zone of trying to figure out how many you've already guessed or have not guessed. And again, try it with the colors, try it with the symbols. Now what I say is if you're really struggling with both of these guessing game exercises, to use your clairs. And I'm all about the clairs. It's how we receive psychic information. So we see things, we hear things, we feel them, we can also smell and taste them, or you just know. And so all of those are 6 different clairs, and I have all sorts of videos on them and all sorts of individual video exercises. But this is a great way to practice those individual clairs. So say you're really bad at clairvoyance and you really want to get better at it. So I'm pulling over a card and I tell my guides I want to see where the other circle is. And, you know, I might hear, oh, that one, but I want to be like, nope, I want to see it. And so I tell my guides, no, I want to see it only. And so maybe I see an outline of one of the cards pop up, or maybe my eyes are just naturally drawn to a certain card. But you want to just tell your guides, I want this clair and I want this clair only, and you can do it with all the clairs. Bam. Honestly, I'm such a huge believer in the clairs. It was what I was taught. I believe you don't need any tools. You can use your psychic ability and your psychic ability only to answer any question that's out there. So as long as you understand those clairs and how you receive that psychic information, you can read anything. If you want to learn more about how to develop your clairs and really understand what's your weakest, what's your strongest, check out my video course. In part 2, I talk about the clairs in depth. And I basically show you guys how you can actually start receiving information. Why I love the Zener cards is they're really great for basic introductory people. You know, tarot cards can be a little freaky to some, but pulling these out at a party and just being like, hey, you know, try to guess, and people end up guessing correctly, and you're like, you did it. See, that's the psychic ability. And their minds are blown because they're like, how did I know that? And a lot of this, you know, people probably chalk up to, oh, well, it was a coincidence. Perfect timing, you just happened to get it. But I truly believe that once you really hone your clairs, you can get really good at this game. And again, one of the biggest things that I say, guys, is that if you're not getting things right, it's okay. You can be connecting wrong. This is really just something to really perfect those clairs even more. Now another fun way you can use these cards is just use them with a friend. And sometimes that's helpful because your friend can kind of set the pace and make you go faster. So if I'm holding these cards up to you and I'm making you read them, you know, I might be like, all right, what's this card? And you have to really quick say it. And we can practice this now even though it's a pre-recorded video. So your friend, me, I can set the pace, you are going to read. And so I'm going to say, you have to read this card, what symbol is on it? Guess really quick. So this is it. How many of you guys got it right? Doesn't matter. Now, if I choose not to show you, what I could do is make a correct pile and an incorrect pile. And then at the end, it's a lot easier to judge how many you got right versus how many you got wrong. And that is the benefit of playing with a friend, because they can keep count for you, where, you know, you don't want to do that yourself. You don't want to be in that math analytical mind. You want to be in that guessing intuitive zone. So if you can, try it by yourself and try it with a friend and see if there's a big difference there for you. Sometimes it actually makes it worse, you never know. But that's good information to know because, you know, if you're finding that on your own you're doing a lot better, but around somebody else you're getting very anxious, you know, that's a great thing to keep in mind of, geez, you know, I'm getting anxious around other people. Maybe I need to work through that before I start reading other people. So if you don't have the money to go out of your way to buy the Zener cards, or you just are too impatient and you want to get started, you can make your own Zener cards. Take a white piece of paper out, draw the symbols, draw the colors according to this chart, not all black, and then you guys can practice. It's as simple as that. And again, if the Zener cards aren't working for you, try normal playing cards. I talk about that in my other video. I do think the Zener cards are better as far as the symbols because when you are trying to read a normal deck of playing cards, there's a lot of imagery going on in those cards. So these are very simple, just one symbol and one symbol only. Whereas, you know, you have like a king of hearts and you've got a king on there, you've got all sorts of colors, all sorts of stuff. So if you really are having a hard time with those playing cards, maybe try the Zener cards. I'm curious how many of you guys out there have actually seen Zener cards before. The first time I saw these were at a psychic fair, and they had them out. They had just these big community tables and they had these cards, and I was like, what the heck are these? And my friend and I sat down and we tried them, and it was a ton of fun, and we were like, oh, this is such an easy tool that you could use at home to practice. Now I am going to return these and get the correct deck for myself, but please let me know what you guys think, if this was helpful, and how many of you guys out there actually prefer the Zener cards over the playing cards. I'm curious. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm seriously so excited that so many of you out there are even interested in developing your psychic ability. I think it's amazing that you guys want to do it, even for yourself, or if it's that you want to read other people. And I plan on uploading a ton of more videos, not only just exercise related, but just talking to you guys about different things you need to keep in mind when you are strengthening your psychic ability. And it's important that you guys stay safe, you're doing it correctly, and that you really understand how to know the difference between the right way to do it versus the wrong way to do it. So if you're all about that, please subscribe. I'm so excited to have you guys all here. Let me know in the comments what else you want to see from me. I love making these videos. All right, have a great one. Bye, you guys.